Welcome to the Sedro Woolley Rotary meeting, the greatest Rotary club in the... Very good. Julia.
We could bow our hearts and heads. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for today. Thank you for the people that are here. I especially am grateful for the guests that have come and are going to share the program that they have planned. It's a wonderful community that we live in. And I ask, Father God, that right now you will calm our hearts and focus our minds so that while we're here, what we say and do will be pleasant in your sight, and that we can go out and serve our community with joy and purpose. In Jesus' name, amen.
The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Mr. Schweigert says he has a song for us today.
Okay. I think everybody noticed, but we had a big old rainstorm right last night and the last couple of days. So, and that was a real shift in our weather. So we're going to sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So we're going to start with this side, and then I'm going to have you guys kick in over here, and we're going to go around 3 times. All right, here we go. Row, row your boat gently down the stream. So down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Nice job, Mike. Very impressive. Do we have any visiting Rotarians or guests today besides our program? Okay, it's good to see some faces we haven't seen in a while. Thank you for being here. A little bit of club business. Oh, hi, Niall. Awesome. Welcome, Niall. And I apologize for... That would be awesome. I think we should do it. No, you did surprise us a couple years ago at the auction. This could be another one of those big things. Okay. All right, club business. Last week I mentioned our Governor Raj is going to be here January 26th. He'll be our program. Remember, Team November next Thursday. I've talked with a couple of you. I've been in contact with your team captain. Daryl Heisler's not able to make it today, but I'll follow up with you and make sure that we're all set for next week and the 3 Thursdays in November. Anacortes Centennial Celebration still looking for 5 seats. We have 10 seats. 5 of them have been reserved already for us. So if you want to go to the Anacortes Centennial Celebration on February 23rd, there's some seats available. Reminded me of the Mount Vernon auction is in November coming up as well. Some of us will be there. Bowling. We had an awesome bowling night Tuesday night. Raise your hand if you went bowling Tuesday night. Well, we had about 20 of us there, and Christina Trader and team did a great job. It was awesome seeing those little Janicki kids use the little dinosaur bowling down. They got strikes, and they were just jumping and high-fiving everybody. Well, everybody was. So it was a lot of fun. So next time we have an event, we hope to have you a little bit, see you there. Is there any other club business that anybody would like to bring to the table at this point? Okay, last Thursday in October, and let's go with the raffle. That's kind of a weak shakeup there, Mike.
Number 53. Nice.
Mr. Nilsson.
You're welcome. Number 41.
Chuck.
Nice. Oliver and Hammer. So do we have that here or do we take them to them? Mike, do we give them now or give it to them later?
I'll look and see, otherwise we give them money.
Okay. All right. Number 60.
There you go, Keith. There you go.
Oh my God. Winter table, $2.
Is that it?
This one is, yeah.
All right. That's it.
Sergeant of Arms.
Who's Sergeant of Arms?
Yeah,
I can do it.
Okay.
I got it.
good job.
Yeah, oh, too many of them. Okay, today's theme, since it's right around the corner, is Halloween, one of my favorites. So we're going to do a little bit of Halloween trivia. You want to collect money? Okay. Here we go. Going to find a good question here. Why did women look in mirrors while walking downstairs at midnight on Halloween? Yeah, why did one? No, not a riddle. It's an answer. Looking for an answer. I'll give you another one. I'll be nice. The answer is to see their boyfriends. Okay. No, here, I'll warm up here. How much did Americans spend on Halloween in 2019? You're pretty close. 2.6 billion. So that's $1. Here we go. We're going to give you guys another one. No, I know. I didn't. Okay. Why are black cats associated with Halloween and bad luck? Okay. Little history lesson. The Puritans associated black cats with witchcraft, leading to the onyx-colored felines association with Halloween. In many cultures, black cats are actually signs of good luck and are revered, if you didn't know that. So play a buck. Okay, stable. Why did people start dressing up in Halloween costumes? Oh, man. Okay, what's that? On All Souls Day, okay, on many Europeans, including the Celtics, dressed in costumes to repel spirits that they believed came back to Earth on what we now know as Halloween. So, they're there. You know, it was fun. Give me the answer. What was your answer? That works. That works. Oh, honey. What, according to many movie lists and awards, was the scariest film ever made? Very good. Okay. I guess most people. Oh, the movie, The Exorcist. Okay. What famous musician died on Halloween? Magician. Yeah. Houdini. Houdini's the winner.
Houdini.
Everybody knows their Halloween trivia pretty well, so I'm striking out today. You guys already paid up, right? Okay, that's it. You guys got clean on Halloween.
Yep, happy bucks. Mike, I'll start it off. I got a happy 10. The boat's in the water. So the bottom's done. It's all painted. I've got it looks great, detailed. Now I need to finish off the inside. So that
Nice.
little mini retrofit I've been working on, it's was just in time for the summer season. Next summer. Okay.
I've got a 20. I'm both happy and appreciative. I want to thank Daryl Heisler and Chris Rothenbuehler for doing such a good job of filling in for me while I was on vacation.
Happy bucks. John.
They did a nice job.
I have some happy bucks. I went hunting with Mike and we're back and we never got thrown in jail by the game department. So that's number one. Number two, Carl had a really good idea about the statue. You go find an old growth, gnarly burl thing. And that's it. You don't have to do a thing. That's just, that's the statue of Mike right there.
I've got a happy couple of bucks. Michael and I started rehearsals for the Nutcracker at McIntyre Hall with the Skagit Valley Academy of Dance. This is the 12th year that we have participated in this amazing production. We're butlers in the party scene, and it's just so much fun. It'll be the first weekend in December, in not our Christmas party, which is the following weekend, so I can go to the Christmas party, our Christmas party. Yeah.
Our Christmas party is now December 10th.
December 10th, which is also my birthday, just so
Happy
you know,
birthday.
just so you know. But the Nutcracker, it's an opportunity to spend the weekend at McIntyre Hall. And I always just have fond, amazing, happy memories of Jack and Shirley and McIntyre Hall, seeing these little kids back in the wings in their very first production. There's nothing like it. So come and see us. It's a great, great event.
The other happy bucks.
I got 3. Whoops. And down it goes. We had a rather excited phone call the other day. Our grandson was videoed walking. And at 4 months, we thought that was something. And then his mother said, oh, yeah, we just had a 5.2 earthquake. So we thought we'd just fake you out a little bit.
Anyone? Rick? No. Okay. Anybody else? Happy bucks? Okay.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Lots of happy people. Appreciate that. Okay, let's bring our program up. Our program today is the YMCA. We have Sarah, Kat, and Roger to present to us today to tell us what's been going on down at the Y. Come on in.
Oh, thank you. Figure out how to get this down. Can everybody hear me all right? Excellent. I'm Sarah Weems, so I'm the CFOO for the Skagit Y. You can just go ahead and do a quick intro for everybody.
Roger Shutke, I'm the outreach manager for the Skagit Y.
And Kat Lohman, I'm the Executive Director of Social Impact for the Y.
All right, so we get to come here today and specifically talk about the work that we've done at the rec center starting just this last summer. So right here in Sedro Woolley, but as we have questions afterwards, feel free to ask us about all sorts of things with the Y. I may point. Oh, point it. Just a second while I figure out how to use my clicker. All right. So why the Y? I can give you a bit of a story about how the partnership started between the city and the Y. It really started after our CEO Dean joined the Y. So Mayor Johnson and Dean got together rather soon. So somewhere pre-COVID, talking about the opportunity with the open space in the library. So everything was really brainstorming at that point in time. My team, Kat and I specifically, started going in there and last fall while it still had shelves everywhere, but definitely was not the library I'd been used to just as a resident of Sedro Woolley. And that's where we really started dreaming about what we would be able to put together out there. So I think everybody knows that starting last summer, it was the end of June, we did 2 programs, and the picture there is at the ribbon cutting. That was what it was. So on the left, you get to see the people who kind of got us started with the summer. And then the right is more of a progress shot with what we put together. So the city came to us with an opportunity to join for a SEEK grant. So it's a summer enrichment program. So what we put together was 2 programs in one. It was a drop-in center Monday through Friday, noon to 6. Anybody aged 12 to 17 could come in, hang out, enjoy the space. We had food provided and lots of kind of counselors was our staff model at that point in time, really looking similarly to what we do with our other summer programs. The other, oh, should we move ahead to our drop-in center slide? Sorry. All right, so I can go a little bit deeper on what that, the specifics inside that program. So altogether, by the end of it, we had 65 youth that participated. So actually came in and enjoyed the center. There was about 89 that were registered. So I think the interest was definitely out there, and there could be a variety of reasons why people weren't able to come in. What we put together for them was cooking lessons in this amazing facility right here. We had movie nights on Fridays. That was really something that the youth asked for straight away, and that counselor staff was really excited to put in place for them. And then just daily recreation and all sorts of activities and fun. So the fun thing at the end of the summer is our counselors really understood and got to know those youth. So we not only did we put backpacks together for them to be able to get them kickstarted for school, but they also put interest packs. So, what was it they enjoyed doing in the craft section, and what were those games that they got passionate about? And then those couple of weeks after the program ended, our counselors were doing drops off at their houses so that they were able to start the school year with a little bit of extra support and content. All right, so this one talks about the running program. So we went a little bit younger with the running program. We did that from ages the 5th grade all the way up to seniors. And it was really looking for brand new runners, people who had never done it before, some experienced runners as well, which we were able to build some really great groups. Running is an amazing sport. It has really, it can be quite low barrier. It's something you can do anywhere. You don't need a gym membership, but what you do need is some good shoes, right? So when we were putting the grant proposal together over the winter, we're like, man, it would be so great if we could get them shoes and a running kit with all of the things so that they could exit that program able to hit the road, but that nobody would be held back during the program because they didn't have the right stuff. So Fairhaven Runners up in Bellingham was great. They partnered with us. We got a great discount, but before the program started, all of the youth were able to go up there, get fitted professionally, and then literally hit the ground running when June started. So we were able to work with them for 8 weeks. That was just 4-day-a-week program. And then at the end of it, we did a big 5K up at Northern State so that every single person was able to finish. There was a variety of finishing times, but we all finished, and it was a really fun program altogether. All right, so from here, I'm going to transition over to Miss Kat so she can talk about what we learned.
Yeah, I know we also just, submitted some information to the city about how the program went. And one of the things that stood out to me was that a number of the youth who did the running club are now engaged in cross country at the school. So it's pretty cool to see that have a lasting impact. But in addition to that impact, there were a few things that we learned. So the grant funding was really specifically for the summer. It was intended to be that summer enrichment. Yes. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll speak into the mic more. There we go. Yep, got it. No problem. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. What I was just mentioning was sort of the lasting impact of the summer. We, had a grant to fund that specific program that was just those 8 weeks. And the intention was not only to provide some summer enrichment and services and activities for young people. But it was also an opportunity for the Y to learn more about Sedro Woolley. This isn't a community that we have had a significant presence in some time, especially for youth programs. And so it was a great opportunity for us to learn and sort of pilot what a partnership with the city could look like and what our occupation of the rec center could look like as well. So there were a few things that we learned in that time. One, first and foremost, is just that young people really do need safe, supportive spaces to be when they're not in school, right? That was loud and clear. I think day one, there was just a couple, maybe 2 or 3 youth that showed up. By day 2, it had doubled. By day 3, it doubled. And it really was just exponential from there, which was awesome to see. And it was mostly youth and word of mouth. They were grabbing their friends and asking them to come by, right? So that told us that young people trusted staff and trusted the program and thought it was cool enough to be there, which is always the challenge with teens, right? The other thing that we noted by the end of the summer was that staff really did need to be trained and prepared to handle more than just facilitating art activities and having, video game competitions. It was really important, we noticed throughout the program, that staff also be capable of navigating conflict and maybe jumping in if there was conflict between youth, knowing how to talk with young people about what resources were available beyond the program itself, because we did have a number of youth who turned up that needed those additional supports and likely otherwise would not have had a safe place to be during the day besides home, possibly alone, maybe at a friend's house. And so it was lovely to be able to build some rapport and relationships with youth who were very eager to find out when we were opening again by the end of those 8 weeks. So those were some of the lessons learned, and we are taking those to heart. We did also conduct a community survey. So we put out a survey that was available for youth themselves or families to complete and give feedback about what activities they would like to see in the space, their interest in continuing to engage. We're reviewing and continuing to go back to that survey to make sure we're using real data to inform what it looks like next. But we heard loud and clear from that and from young people that having that drop-in space, literal space, right, to be safely supervised and that's available outside of school hours is so important. So we are continuing the program. We're very excited to say we're hoping to open it up again here pretty soon. We're putting in a lot of work on the training and the program side, program development side. Roger will speak to that a little bit more about where we're at currently, but we know that it must continue. The other piece of feedback, because of young people trusting us, the other way that we're taking that to heart is that we can continue to ask for their feedback, and they should have direct input and say on how we use the space and what activities we provide. So that is our intention, is that we will probably start with just opening, seeing who shows up, and then making sure we're regularly bringing a group together to talk about what their needs are and directly asking that of them. And then on the staff training side, part of what we're working on right now is really investing in a role that mirrors the youth advocates who staff our Oasis Teen Shelter. So that's a program the Y facilitates in Mount Vernon. And they're given 16 hours of pre-service training before they're even on the floor in rotation. They get training in topics like trauma-informed care and crisis intervention, de-escalation skills, all that good stuff. And they are expected to continue to learn throughout their time. Every year they're required to complete 24 hours of training as well. And those requirements come from that being a state licensed program through DCYF. But we feel that it just makes sense to adopt that same, very intensively trained model and staff support role for the folks that are going to be on the floor at the rec center as well, especially because winter is coming. And I can speak from experience in my street outreach days that is when young people and people in general struggle, right? Especially if you're already lacking some basic supports and basic necessities, that makes it all that much harder. So it's really essential that we recruit and train folks accordingly. So that is framing how we're heading into the next chapter. So I just wanted to note here on this slide, simultaneously this summer, while we were facilitating the program and getting to know young people in Sedro Woolley, the other thing that the Y was doing was making a big shift into actually identifying that we calling out our social impact work, I should say. So historically, we've had, kind of our Hogue operations. That's our main facility off Hogue Road in Mount Vernon, our gym and aquatic center, and all of the various programs, more fee-based programs that we provide through that space. And we've always had childcare. Childcare is a big piece of what the Y does. With a dozen sites. Are we at a dozen right now? Pretty close. Combo, yeah, between early learning and school age sites, so right around a dozen locations around Skagit County, right? And then there was always Oasis. Oasis was sort of this didn't quite fit in with the other divisions of the Y, right? But an important piece of the work. That's our Oasis Teen Shelter. So 13 to 17-year-olds can stay overnight in that space on a emergency basis as needed, up to about 90 days at a time. And what we found, especially as the rec center was continuing to evolve, was that Oasis is a service. It's a vital service of our community. And it was really important that we identify that, name that piece of the work, and dedicate capacity to it. So my role was formed as the ED of social impact to head up that division and really identify where our services, our partnerships, and then continuing the work that I do in advancement and the sustainability work of ensuring that the Y continues to exist in our community was really called out. And so you'll see that within our services, we have the shelter, and that we're now identifying a secondary service, which is outreach work. And there's two strategies within that, street outreach as well as the drop-in center. And so having both of those strategies is essential, because street outreach means you're out in the community, you're going to find young people. That's usually where we identify that young adult population. They're more likely to be maybe outside or show up in spaces where they're more easily found in the community, right? Versus youth under 18 who may be at risk of or experiencing unstable housing. they're more likely to be involved in school. They may not be, and they do show up outside at times, but they also are more likely to go to spaces where their friends are, right? They're more likely to go to a friend's house or, say, a drop-in center, especially if there's food and there's games and they can just go hang out and it's easy to get to, right? It's right in their community. So it's really critical to us that we ensure that we continue to provide both of those strategies across Skagit County. So that is where Roger comes into the picture. I'm super excited to say that Roger's in his 3rd week as our outreach manager. Roger, did you want to speak to where we're at currently?
Thanks for having us, y'all. I started a few weeks ago. I'm learning a lot. Right now, I've been working out of the rec center. I'll have my contact if folks around here are interested in chatting with me more about what our plans are. But for now, we're in the beginning stages of hiring to reopen. The goal right now is to open by our winter break. We feel like that is a tangible goal, especially considering the type of recruitment that we want to do and making sure that we have the right staff there to handle the need that we expect to be coming in. Once the rec center is stabilized, after a few months, hopefully my role will be expanding more to be doing more street outreach and be more county-wide, collaborating with Northwest Youth Services in Burlington in serving young adult populations as well. But my focus mainly will be on under 18 youth. So those ages 12 to 18. 12 to 17 really. So like Kat said, the drop-in center will serve youth that are 12 to 17. We hope that we're expecting quite a few youth to show up, really. I mean, did you have the stats there from earlier? There's 89 youth that registered, in 8 weeks, just through word of mouth. I'm expecting quite a few folks to be coming through the door right away, and for us to kind of gauge the need over the first couple of months in order to then expand hours, and then maybe later into the evening, and then after that expand to weekend hours as well. We'll have programming going out of there. There's a variety of folks that I'm already in touch with to come in and do community-centered programming. But really, we want this space to be youth-led and empower the youth to take the space and ask themselves what they could use with the help of staff and the support of staff. And there'll be some non-negotiables in the space of what the rules will be, but we want to really empower the youth to take ownership over the space and to feel like they can call that a safe place to be, and that they have some sort of sense of responsibility around it. That could lead to a variety of different things, and I'm happy to chat with anyone about that if you all have ideas as well. Yeah, sure. Right. My understanding is the Boys and Girls Club serves, I mean, they don't have, they go up to about age 12. No? Is it 18? Oh, and Sedro Woolley?
So this is a low barrier drop-in center. So the Boys and Girls Club in their school age model, similarly with our own school age program, it involves parents registering, right? And a tuition payment and things like that. And so that's one of the key aspects of making sure this is a drop-in, unlicensed, low barrier space. So they don't have to rely on a parent or guardian to do that step. So no, it wouldn't be a competition to Boys and Girls Club. It's really a different type of program.
I don't know if I speak for everybody here, but I might speak for most, is we want to support you and we want to support the Boys and Girls Club, and we would like I personally would like the programs to be additive and not competitive in any way. So if you can figure out a way to where they're open when you're not, and vice versa,
What
Boy,
we-
that makes a lot of sense.
what we found as we've worked with Boys and Girls Club before, so we work with Ron Henry quite a bit when we're chatting, particularly in that early learning space. We collaborated a lot over COVID as everybody was doing all daycare, when usually that school age is kind of that before or after. What we've realized is that the capacity for any type of childcare isn't great enough with what's currently out there. So I love the idea that we should connect with Ron to be sure. From what I was aware of, there wasn't anything that was at that same age group, but I believe from the model itself, we would be hitting a demographic that would not be engaging at the Boys and Girls Club side. Oh, yes, we would take computers. So right now we had 3 laptops that were donated. I'm not sure, honestly, if the donation was from Janikeep in particular, or if it was from Nick Lavaca. It came through Nick, right? But yeah, so we were able to get those 3. It'll really be up to Roger about like how they're utilized in the space. To be totally honest, I grabbed them straight away and I'm like, laptops in the hands of everyone, and I haven't put any parent protections on them yet. So I pulled them from the rec center pretty quickly. But yeah, as Roger's building programming, more tech is definitely what these guys are going to need, especially as they are getting out there and engaging with jobs, right? Like we're looking at as they're getting out of those teenage years and turning into adults in our community, we need to be able to get them engaged. So any thoughts that you have, either Roger or Kat would be really good to connect with about equipment donations.
Roger, how many, what's the quantity of staff that you're envisioning?
Depends on the need, really. Depends on our budget, but ideally I'd love to have 4 staff on the floor all the time. We're looking at, to start, probably having 3 staff on the floor. And then we'll gauge what we need to go from there, where we need to go from there. Really, I mean, I've been spending a lot of time trying to crunch numbers and see what we can afford. So it's kind of dependent on what we can afford and what we can afford to pay people. Of course, we'll accept volunteers, but I'd want those volunteers to be trained well, as almost as well as our paid staff, at least for some of the intervention strategies that we might want to use if more intense things come up at the center. But yeah, 3 to 4 on the floor at all times is kind of what I'm thinking right now. Yeah.
I have a question. You mentioned that it was low barrier, right, to join or drop in. Is there a fee, or is it there's no fee or never a fee?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally fee free. So that's really why it's a totally different model, and kind of to the org chart type thing that we had up there on the slide. That's really why Oasis and these other specific programs just don't align with the other areas of our business, because they are tuition and fee free.
So when I was president of the club, one of the major funding that we did was $125,000 for the capital project. And we just, I believe, ended that responsibility. So that's pretty cool that our club supported in that regard. And then prior to that, I had the opportunity for a tour of the Oasis teen shelter. And I think it's something that anyone in this club should take a moment and go check out. It's something that it's a dramatic space for kids that are in a lot of trouble. A lot of gay kids are kicked out of their homes, and that's where they end up. And it's amazing the work that the Oasis Teen Shelter does for a lot of kids that are having some tough times in their lives. So keep up the great work.
Thank you. And I was going to say too, yeah, that statistic for the number of youth who are LGBTQ at Oasis is usually around 50%, when we know that the broader population of Skagit County is more like, 18 to 20 who identify as LGBTQ, right, in the youth population. So disproportionate representation for sure. And And then the other thing I wanted to say too is I would be happy if you are interested, if you've not seen Oasis before, want to see the space, happy to coordinate that. And I was going to mention too, we are just next door. If you have not seen the rec center and would like to come over and visit after this, we would love to show you the space as well.
I just have a comment. So very grateful on behalf of the city. We're very grateful that the Y is here. And I think one thing that is hard for a lot of people to grasp is the idea that we do have troubled youth within our community, and yet they're there. And so what you're providing kind of goes above and beyond what some of the other organized agencies do, other programs do. It's a courageous and huge challenge that you're taking on. I agree with David that the Oasis program is fantastic. So I guess just on behalf of the city, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming, sharing the information. Thank you for your energies, your ideas, the safety that you're putting into place for the children who will be participating there. And as I said at the ribbon cutting, I really look forward to a day when there will be youth who will come back and they'll say their life was changed because somebody took time to listen and pay attention to their lives. So thank you.
Thank you. Nope. Good.
Do you have our emails up?
Oh, one more slide. Thank you, Roger.
I can follow up and make sure y'all get our contact info sent out. We'll do that as a follow-up. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sarah, we do have a parting gift to you from the greatest Rotary Club in the universe. So this is to sign any document that you may have. Nice program. And you've heard me say this before. Anything that has to do with working with kids and kids, especially kids on the edge, like some of their kids are going to where I like the word that you used, and sometimes things can get intense. You're saving lives. And that's the bottom line is when we're in this business together, partnering with each other, we're helping and supporting kids, and you never know when you're going to save a life along the way. So thank you for your work. Thank you for the city partnering with them. I think it's just an awesome program. Thank you. One more time. Okay, Niall, thank you very much for visiting with us. You're welcome back anytime. I'm looking forward to it. John's a good man, good guy, smart guy. He's going to pick up that chainsaw, and I think we're going to see some great art coming out of there. Nice. Once again, Sarah, Kat, Roger, thank you for coming and presenting to us. And Team October, if you're part of Team October, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Mike, there. Okay. Nice job. You guys did a very fine job this month. Great programs. Team November, start thinking about what you need to do. And if there is no other club business to bring to the floor, I will close the meeting to the greatest Rotary Club in the